Hello, Dr. Sheila Harris here today. Thank you for joining this class. This class is on forgiveness, a spiritual healing tool that you and I and everyone else in this world need. But I applaud you for joining this class because many people could really save themselves a lot of trauma if only they understand the lessons that you are about to go through. Many years ago, I went through difficult challenges, and as a matter of fact, we do all the time. But this was a very traumatic experience for me, and I'd always believed that I am the kind of person who will just dust my back and move forward. But this was not the case at all. And it was a prolonged period of ache. And I remembered I could not smile, I could not bring myself into that joyful state because I had so much in my mind. I was burdened, and forgiveness was not in my mind at all. It took me some 5 years down the line for me to come to terms with what I am about to share with you. Forgiveness, I know, is not always an easy road to journey, especially when you are traumatized, especially when you feel hurt, especially when you feel betrayed, especially when you feel anger, resentment, and all the other negative emotions that come with it, especially when you feel a sense of deep-seated loss. I understand. But ultimately, all of us have to let go, no matter what we may think the other person has done, or we sometimes have done, because it can work the other way around, where somebody owed themselves to this point where they cannot forgive themselves for something they did to others. And sometimes it could be a very painful experience to believe that someone else has forgiven you. Just like it could be a very painful process for you to let go of someone who betrayed you. But ultimately, we have to do so. Because spiritually, we can never grow if we don't forgive, if we don't let go. I'm going to define what forgiveness means in this course. And I'm going to explain to you the essence of forgiveness, what it does for us, what it does for the human spirit, what it does for the society as a whole, what it does for you as a person, your loved ones, people who are in your life, your friends, your colleagues, what it does for the environment as a whole. Until we understand the power of forgiveness, we will underestimate the value of forgiveness. In truth, the name itself, forgiveness, we should not hang up on it because there are so many schools of thought about the subject of forgiveness, which is why I'm going to define what forgiveness means so that we know the school of thought around it from a spiritual perspective. My sincere hope for you is that by the time you complete this course, you will have an internal paradigm shift about the world in which you operate. You will sincerely take a deep look inside and then look around you and begin to have a heart connection with people around you. Because nature has a way of bringing us to this point where all the things that we thought was very important begin to be seen as not so important. What really is important is relationship. If there's one thing that I know for sure, every one of us, and I mean everyone, there's no exception, every one of us need good relationship in our lives. Our lives will never thrive without good relationships. Our lives will be hell if we don't have good relationships. Loneliness can be very deadly in human society. Depression, anxiety, and all of these anger and resentment cause a lot of cost to our society in terms of health issues. I know that because I've been there myself. In fact, scientists have said that if a child is born and that child is not loved, not cared for a period of time, even hours, that child will die. Why? Because relationship matters. Nature has designed the entire system in such a way that we can never be happy if we do not have good relationships. So with that, this course is really going to be an eye-opener for you. My sincere hope is that you will feel something deep, something that shifts inside you. When you go through the exercises that you've been given, there's a 15-step exercise that you will need to go through. Some of it will be challenging, some of it will be like, oh, I don't want to do that yet. I understand. That's why there's going to be a support group that you could join to ask those questions. What do I do now? I'm having challenges around this area, because it's going to be necessary for that to happen, so that you will need help and call upon others to help you, to hold your hands, to pray with you, to talk to you, because someone did that for me as well. It was not all easy for me too. I know for sure that the process of forgiving truly from the heart is one that cannot just happen overnight. So I'm not expecting that you will just overnight change. And if anyone say that, for some minor things, yes. For some deep issues, it takes time, because something has to shift inside, and it does take time for that to happen. But ultimately, if we're willing to make the change, there is a power that helps. And that's what I know. And that's what I share with you. And I hope you will go through the journey yourself and experience it. So the course itself is a process that you will gain the most when you do the exercises. You gain the most when you sincerely open your heart and seek the help to move forward and get to this point where you let go and let God be, as I like to say. Forgiveness is an act of love. And with that, I say thank you for joining this class. I will now take you to the next lesson.